So another person has died and 7 more are injured after this huge explosion in Youngstown, Ohio. This is not the first explosion we've talked about. There have been plenty. There was the old historic hotel in Fort Worth in Texas, I believe, just like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe in February. There's a lot of buildings that have had random explosions. We've covered numerous ones on this channel. Feel free to go back and look at them. But this is the newest one here, and they all have one thing in common. Generally speaking, they are propane or natural gas or something related. They're not electric fires. They are explosions due to gases, however you guys want to phrase that. And every time I see one of these, my first thought is, well, there goes another push for the government to turn everything electric. We already know that New York City itself, not the whole state of New York, but New York City itself has signed into law or passed a bill. I don't remember which way it went first, bill or law. They have signed something that says you can no longer have gas-powered anything in New York City starting in 2027. The only exceptions being any future commercial restaurants are allowed to have gas stoves, but you and I are not allowed to have a gas stove, gas heat, anything at all like that. No propane, nothing, right? Because it's not safe due to all of these explosions. At least that's what they want to say. So according to this one that happened in Ohio, this was yesterday, a person has died, 7 people are injured, including 1 critically. So there's possibility of another death, which would bring it up to 2. After an explosion rocked downtown Youngstown, Ohio. The explosion occurred near Central Square on Tuesday afternoon. And they are, of course, urging people to avoid the area. This is what it looks like after the explosion. You guys can see that right there. So they are saying that they characterized the incident as a natural gas explosion, but later they said that the crews were working to determine if there was a gas leak. So they're not quite sure yet exactly how it happened. All I know for sure is that there was an explosion. This is according to Fire Chief Barry Finley. And then you have here, Mercy Health said Tuesday evening it is treating 7 people who were injured in the incident. Now, whoever wrote this article, this is how they wrote it, okay? This is not me, it's how they wrote it. The man body of a man. I don't know what that means. The man body of a man. Is that how we have to phrase things now? The man body of a man instead of the woman body of a man, or the man body of a woman? What are we doing here? But the man body of a man who was an employee of the bank was pulled from the site early Wednesday morning. Police were searching for his vehicle in the wake of the explosion. I don't know why his car would have been close enough to be in the explosion, but anything's possible. Now, this is where I was confused. It says the floor collapsed into the basement, which was flooded, and search crews were working to send a mini drone in there to aid in the search. Now, it's possible it flooded because when there was an explosion, it burst like water pipes and water lines. That part would make sense, because besides that, I didn't see any kind of water issues anywhere around the area there in Youngstown, Ohio. There wasn't any flooding or anything like that in that area. So I have to assume that the explosion caused there to be water issues, which then flooded the basement. Now, the Chase Bank, there was a Chase Bank, is located on the ground floor of the building with apartment units on the 12 floors above. The building was evacuated, and the streets in the surrounding area, they've been closed to traffic indefinitely due to the potential for a structural collapse. So who knows when that area is going to open back up, right? Now, a Chase spokesperson told ABC News the company is in close contact with local officials to check on the safety of everyone in the building. After that, we'll work to determine what happened and to assess the damage. Now, officials want everybody to know there's no evidence of any suspicious activity at this time. Y'all have met me. Y'all have been here before. And if you haven't been here before, welcome to SquirrelTribe. But this is how my brain works. The second they say there's no evidence of any suspicious activity, y'all lying. Y'all lying. You're like, it's a bank. Maybe there's suspicious activity. Why were they searching for that guy's car? Why did they need his car? Did they think that maybe there was something with the car and a bomb? This is how my brain works. I don't always love how my brain jumps all over the place and thinks of random things. Maybe it's too many movies. Maybe it's too many books. Maybe it's too many things that have happened in the history of, life that proves that when they tell you one thing, it turns out to be something else. Hey, look over here. Don't focus over here, because over here we're doing some shady stuff. There's always the possibility that this natural gas explosion or this gas leak or this whatever else was really a car bomb. You just never know. The fact they were searching for this man's car, very weird to me. That part, I'm like, why? Like, why are you looking for his car? Before you ever found his body, why are you looking for his car? Very, very, y'all know what I mean. It was like, okay. Now, on top of that, you have a SUV exploded in a supermarket parking lot after a man lights a cigarette near propane canisters. I have said it once or twice or 10,000 times, and I will say it again. There is a push to get rid of anything that is not electric. And we all know why. Because they can control the they can control the electric. They can control the electricity, the electric grid. They can shut it down anytime they want to. You will be at their beck and call is not correct. At their, can't think of the word. Whim is not the right word either. Whatever. They can do whatever they want to do and you can't do anything about it. That's pretty much what it comes down to, which is also why they want us all in electric cars, because then they can tap into your computer and shut it down. People are going to think I'm, a crackhead because of the things I talk about. That's fine. I don't really care. This is how my brain works. These are the things I think when I see everything that's going on. The fact that the Biden administration has paid billions of dollars to have 500,000 new Tesla chargers installed by 2030. Yet they've only put up 8, yet the money's still out there. I'm very confused on how all this is going to work. They want everybody in an electric car by 2030. They want gas and propane and everything gone from certain areas. You have certain cities and then states passing their own laws where you can't have a propane tank in your backyard. But then how do you expect to get heat? Oh, you have to then pay to have electricity and stuff brought in for people who are living kind of off grid or not within, city limits and stuff, who happen to rely on propane tanks and things like that. And behind their houses, behind their trailers, behind their mobile homes, trailer parks. I feel like those are different things, but I'm also pretty sure they're the same thing. I can't visually see a difference between them, so I'm not 100% sure. But either way, there are a lot of things that rely on propane, that rely on natural gas, that rely on stuff like that. And they're trying to get away with it. So when I saw this, look at this car. From lighting a cigarette? Are you effing kidding me? This is from a cigarette? Okay, so according to this is a man who was living in his SUV. He was injured but survived, which is, the silver lining there, when he tried to light a cigarette inside his car, which contained canisters of butane. Now, that would have to mean that the canisters were leaking, like there was a leak in one of them, right? In order for you to light a cigarette and explode, there had to have been some sort of leak, some sort of gas leak or butane leak in the air, right? Says the incident, this was on May 23rd in California, and it said the man tried to light a cigarette near a Toyota 4Runner, and the LA Fire Department showed up to put it out. When first responders arrived at the scene, it said they found the vehicle had exploded and the man had sustained moderate burn injuries. The man told authorities he was trying to light a cigarette at the time of the explosion. Well, cigarettes will kill you. Stay away from them. The sound of the explosion could be heard several blocks away. They said it was like an earthquake rattling the windows, but was gone as soon as it started. How many canisters of butane did this man have in his vehicle to destroy a car like that, to rattle windows blocks away? And that sounds fishy as hell to me. I don't know if anybody else understands that. Like, why do you need so many butane things in your vehicle? As somebody who had, a Class B van, we had the little propane canisters for our Coleman grill or stove, and we had maybe two of them in an entire Class B van. How many did this man need in his Toyota 4Runner? I'm curious on that part. They don't say that. Now, the man was transported to a hospital and he was treated. There's no active fire. I wonder if they arrested him. It doesn't say. I wonder if they arrested him for anything, or if he got like some sort of ticket or citation. Because you know how sometimes the cities want to cite people and make them pay for anything. I wonder if he got a ticket or anything like that. Anyway, so on top of that, I was scrolling on the good old World Wide Web here earlier this morning, and I was looking at how there's been all these crazy storms, and Texas is getting freaking battered. Like every single day it's like, oh, we've lost more power in Texas. There's more deaths and injuries in Texas and everything else. And what's interesting to me though, whether it's talking about Texas, whether it's Oklahoma, when they bring up, Indiana, I think had some stuff go down, and all these different places that have had these horrific storms, and they talk about, a life lost here. We've lost this many people. Do they include homeless people? I don't think they do. I think it's if they see a house and they can't find the people who belong to the house, then they are listed as, victims of these storms. But how many homeless people, how many illegal immigrants are getting killed in these storms, and then the numbers are never told? I was thinking about that earlier because I've got all these different things. Look, I just Googled Texas storms, and there's so many different headlines here. New York Times, Texas storm kills at least one, leaving thousands without power. You have here from Fox News 4, Dallas, Fort Worth. Dallas weather, storm leaves trail of damage in North Texas. Severe thunderstorms pummel Texas, causing widespread power outages. This one from AP 15 hours ago. Severe weekend storms leave 1 million Texans without power. Y'all, it's hot as balls out. Can you imagine? You have no power right now because, you know, the electricity is down. You have no AC. What about people who need electricity to have, because they're on like breathing machines, the CPAP, that what they're called, like at night and stuff, or oxygen or anything like that, and you need all this. Your food is going to shit if you have a refrigerator or a freezer. All that stuff you stocked up is now just going to go to crap because you have no power unless you have a generator. But what do most generators run on? The same thing that they don't want people to have anymore. The butane, the propane, the natural gas, the stuff like that. Like, y'all see what I'm getting at here. Now, according to this, overnight storms hits Levelland, causing significant damages. There are now over 1 million Texas homes and businesses without power. That's 2.5 million people, all in the eastern half of the state. In multiple counties, more than 40% of people are without power. And then according to this, after storms hit Houston hard, expect the power bill to be next. After storms hit Houston hard, expect the power bill to be next. If it's taking out the power, why would your power bill be through the roof? I have questions there too. So many things that are happening that don't make sense. This is on USA Today, came out of nowhere. Storm weary Texas bashed again. Texas awaits more severe storms. Thunderstorms over central Texas will gradually diminish this morning, while additional storms will roll in. Y'all know Texas has been in the headlines a lot. For the longest, it was all about illegal immigration and border control and everything else. You could not, flip a page in a newspaper or a channel on TV or anything on your radio station or a podcast without hearing about illegal immigrants. We've talked about it here as well. And then suddenly, illegal immigration just went, it stopped being talked about. And then it was, what's going on in New York City with Trump and all of that whole just fiasco over there. And then it's, Biden farts in front of everybody at, Georgia College. And he looked so bewildered, like he didn't know his butthole had just like completely, what's the right word? Oh, come on now, brain work. My brain's not braining. Had completely, oh, y'all, I can't think of it. I hate it when I can't think of words. Betrayed him. Ha! There we go. My brain was like, it starts with a D. Nope, starts with a B. But they look the same if you're, I guess I'm dyslexic today. His butthole betrayed him in front of all those people, and he looked so shocked after it happened. And then, now we're talking about the storms. The way the wave of what matters and doesn't matter works is absolutely crazy to me. Everybody is focused on this, and then everybody's focused on this, and then we're focused on this, and then we're focused on this. And it's the way the media pushes everything. They don't want to talk about the things that I talk about. Like, I'll bring up stuff that is important and happening like right now, but then I give my opinion on stuff. And YouTube no longer likes opinions. They want you to just state facts and keep it trucking. I don't know how to do that. I will state the facts and I'll give you my opinion all day long. It's the only way I know how to be, because their facts sometimes don't make sense to me. Their facts sometimes are, just riddled with shit, in my personal opinion. And I'm like, I hear your fact, but it sounds, far-fetched. It sounds made up. It sounds like you're leaving facts out. So let's have this conversation, right? Like the guy that we talked about yesterday, Jared Ravage, who happens to be a mentally ill transgender, like, I don't even know what to call this person, who went on the stabbing spree, but it turns out it's because he also killed his roommate after he had attacked his dad. Like, so many different things. And I know this is all over the place, and it's not my intention. I do apologize for that. But again, if you've been here before, it's called SquirrelTribe for a reason. There's no one focused path for me ever in life. I try, but it just never works. But anyway, so people in Texas, I was thinking about it because we have hundreds of thousands of people a month crossing the border. And when these storms are coming through, a lot of those people are homeless, or they've already been shipped out to New York or Chicago or someplace in Cali, the sanctuary cities. But there's still a ton of them in Texas. I can't believe they've all made it through the storm. So how come the news, who likes to talk as much crap as humanly possible about I don't want to say crap, that sounds wrong. Talk about the border issues all the time, from whether it's this side or that side. You have the ones who are like, no, they're great, let everybody in. And this side going, no, don't let anybody in. And then you have like the middle, whatever. But how come when these storms are coming through, nobody's talking about the fact that there are tons of homeless people, and not just illegal immigrants, but Texans in general, tons of homeless people. Are they not being affected by these storms? Are they suddenly safe? Like, one dead, where did the homeless people go? That has always been my question. Even in, when I was in Atlanta, when I lived in Atlanta and the weather got really cold, whatever, they wouldn't really talk about the deaths of the homeless people who were out in the cold too long. When we were in Las Vegas last summer, I think it was last summer, maybe it was the summer before, two summers ago, I don't even remember. We were leaving, it's 117 degrees in Las Vegas, and there was a body on the sidewalk with a sheet over it. A homeless person had just expired from the heat and everything else, and just dead on the sidewalk. But they don't talk about it. It was nowhere in the news. I kept looking for it because I visually saw it. I was like, holy crap, like, this is like actually happening. And I could never find an article about it. There's so many things they don't tell us, and I think the things they don't tell us are like some of the most important things. So I wonder how many people have actually died from these storms in Texas, actually died from these storms in Oklahoma. Illegal immigrants, citizens, anybody in general that are homeless or aren't maybe living in their cars, maybe living off grid somehow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious what the actual number is of people who have been affected by these crazy storms that have been ravaging the U.S. the last couple weeks. And the fact that we're going into 2024 hurricane season that's supposed to be the worst it's ever been. Of course, they say the worst it's ever been every single time. But I am curious at the end when they say, hurricane blah, blah, blah went through and took down these buildings and we lost 4 people. Well, did we lose 4 or did we lose 40 because of the homeless population that was also swept away? But because you don't have a name to go with the building, you don't count them. Yeah, I'm just always curious about that. Anyway, Squirrel Tribe, I love y'all immensely. I'll see you again later. Okay, bye.